Have you ever felt like intimacy just isn't the same after 60? Or wondered if you'll ever feel that spark again? What if one night could change everything? I'm sharing the story of Susan, 62, who had never reached orgasm in her 40 years of marriage, until her 65-year-old husband, David, did something the other night that transformed their connection. Picture Susan sitting on the edge of her bed one quiet evening, her heart heavy as she looked at David across the room. They'd been married for decades, raised a family, built a life together. But lately, their intimacy had faded. Susan had always struggled to find that deep satisfaction in their lovemaking. She'd never reached orgasm, not once, and over the years, she'd started to believe it just wasn't meant for her. After 60, her body felt different, stiffer, less responsive, and she worried that age had stolen any chance of feeling that closeness with David. He felt it too, the distance growing between them, the quiet nights where they'd turn away instead of toward each other. Susan started to fear that this was just what aging meant, losing the passion, the connection, the joy of being truly close. But one night, David decided to try something different, something that opened a door they thought was closed forever. What he did brought them closer than ever, and I'm going to share the 5 intimate techniques that made it happen, techniques that can help you rediscover satisfaction and connection, no matter your age. If you're ready to feel that spark again, give this video a like. I'd love to know you're with me on this journey. The first technique David tried was something he'd never thought of before, taking time for extended foreplay, focusing on Susan's comfort and connection. He'd always rushed into intimacy in the past, thinking that was what she wanted. But that night, he slowed down. He learned that after 60, your body needs more time to warm up. Hormonal changes can make arousal slower, but taking 20 minutes or more for foreplay can make all the difference. David met another couple, John and Linda, both 67 from Colorado, who'd been through the same struggle. Linda had never felt fully satisfied until John started focusing on long, gentle foreplay. John would spend time holding her, kissing her neck, running his hands softly over her arms, talking to her about what felt good, making her feel cherished. He didn't rush, didn't push, just let her body relax and respond naturally. After a few weeks, Linda felt a closeness she'd never known, and she finally reached that peak she'd been missing. David thought, "I've always been too quick. Could this be what Susan needs?" So that night he took his time. He held her close, kissed her gently, whispered how much he loved her, and spent 20 minutes just focusing on her, letting her feel safe and adored. Susan felt her body respond in a way it never had. She felt seen, loved, and for the first time, she felt that wave of release she'd been longing for. You can do this too. Set aside 20 minutes for foreplay, focus on gentle touch, soft kisses, and kind words, and let your partner relax into the moment. It's not about pressure, it's about connection. And for Susan, it was the first step to feeling truly close to David again, like they were rediscovering each other after all these years. The second technique David discovered was the power of open communication, talking openly about what they both wanted, something they'd never really done before. Susan had always been shy about sharing her needs, and David had assumed he knew what she liked. But that night, he asked her, "What feels good for you?" and really listened. He learned that after 60, communication becomes even more important. Your body changes, your desires shift, and talking openly can bridge that gap. David heard about Mary, 64, from Texas, who'd had a similar breakthrough with her husband. They'd started having honest conversations before intimacy, sharing what they enjoyed, what felt comfortable, even what they were nervous about. Mary's husband would ask simple questions like, "Do you like this?" or "What would make you feel good?" And it made her feel safe to open up. Over time, those talks brought them closer, and Mary found herself feeling more satisfied than ever. David thought, "I've never really asked Susan what she wants. Maybe that's what's been missing." So he started the conversation. He asked her gently, listened without judgment, and encouraged her to share what felt right for her. Susan was nervous at first, but as she spoke, she felt a weight lift. She told him she loved when he held her a certain way, and David listened, making her feel heard. That night, their connection deepened, and Susan felt a new kind of closeness that brought her to a place of fulfillment she'd never known. You can do it too. Before your next intimate moment, ask your partner, "What feels good for you?" and listen with an open heart. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding each other. And for Susan and David, it was like opening a door to a whole new level of intimacy, one they wished they'd found sooner. Susan was starting to feel a flicker of hope, those long, gentle moments of foreplay, and their open conversations were bringing her and David closer than they'd been in years. She could feel her body responding in ways it never had, and for the first time, she felt a deep connection that made her believe satisfaction was possible, even after 60. But as they settled into bed one evening, Susan noticed something that made her pause. The room felt cold. The overhead light was harsh, and the TV was still buzzing in the background. It hit her that their surroundings weren't helping her relax, and she wondered if that was holding her back from fully letting go. That's when David discovered the third technique, creating a relaxing atmosphere, something he'd never thought could make such a difference in their intimacy. He learned that after 60, your senses become more sensitive, and a stressful environment, like bright lights or distracting noises, can make it harder to feel comfortable and connected. David met another couple, Robert and Ellen, both 66 from Oregon, who'd faced the same challenge. Ellen couldn't fully relax during intimacy because their bedroom felt more like a workspace than a sanctuary. Robert started making small changes. He'd dim the lights, light a soft candle, play gentle music, and make sure the room was warm and cozy. He even put their phones in another room to avoid distractions. Those little tweaks helped Ellen feel safe and present, and she found herself able to let go in a way she never had before, reaching a level of satisfaction that brought them closer. Robert told David, "It's like creating a little haven. It changed everything for us." David thought, "Our bedroom isn't exactly relaxing. Could this be what Susan needs?" So he gave it a try. He turned off the overhead light, lit a small candle on the nightstand, played some soft instrumental music, and made sure the room was warm with an extra blanket. He even silenced their phones and set them in the kitchen. That night, Susan felt the difference. She felt enveloped in warmth, the soft glow and music helping her body and mind relax. And as they came together, she felt a new level of closeness that brought her to that peak she'd been longing for. You can do this too. Dim the lights, light a candle, Play soft music and make your space warm and distraction-free. It's not about being fancy. It's about creating a space where you can both feel safe and connected, just like Susan and David did. I'd love to hear which of these techniques you're trying first. Drop a comment below and let me know what's sparking your curiosity. With their bedroom now a cozy haven, David started thinking about how they could deepen their connection even more. And that's when he stumbled on the fourth technique, focusing on touch, using slow, intentional caresses to build intimacy. He'd always thought touch was just a small part of their lovemaking, but he learned that after 60, your body craves more sensory connection, and slow, mindful touch can awaken sensations that make satisfaction easier to reach. David heard about Clara, 61, from Arizona, who'd had her own breakthrough with her partner. They'd started focusing on touch as a way to reconnect, taking time to explore each other with gentle, unhurried caresses. Clara's partner would run his hands slowly along her arms, her back, her legs, not rushing to the next step, just letting her feel every moment. Clara shared that this kind of touch made her feel cherished, and it helped her body respond in a way that led to a deeper, more fulfilling experience. David thought, "I've never really taken my time with touch. Maybe this is what we've been missing." So he tried it. He took Susan's hand, ran his fingers slowly up her arm, across her shoulders, down her back, moving gently, focusing on her reactions, letting her feel every touch. He didn't rush, didn't push, just stayed present, and Susan felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of being truly seen and loved. That night, the slow, intentional touch brought them closer, and Susan felt her body open up in a way that led to a moment of pure release, a satisfaction she'd never known. You can do it too. Take 10 minutes to focus on slow, gentle touch, running your hands along your partner's arms, back, or legs, staying present and unhurried. It's not about doing more, it's about feeling more. And for Susan and David, it was like discovering a new language of love, one that made their connection deeper and more fulfilling than ever. They were starting to believe they could have the intimacy they'd always dreamed of, and they were so close to making it a reality every time they came together. Susan was starting to feel like a new woman. Those long moments of foreplay, their open conversations, the cozy bedroom atmosphere, and the slow, intentional touches were all coming together, helping her and David rediscover a closeness they'd thought was lost forever. She could feel her body opening up, her heart connecting with his in a way that made her believe true satisfaction was within reach, even after 60. But there was one more technique David wanted to try, something he'd never considered before, and it turned out to be the final piece they needed to make their intimate moments truly fulfilling. David had always assumed their evenings were the best time for intimacy. It's what they'd always done, a habit from their younger years. But lately he'd noticed how tired they both felt by the end of the day, how their energy seemed to fade as the night went on, leaving them less present with each other. That's when he discovered the fifth technique, trying new timing, choosing a moment when they were both rested and alert, like a quiet morning or an early afternoon. He learned that after 60, your energy levels shift, and nighttime might not be the best time for intimacy. Your body and mind need to be awake and engage to fully connect and find satisfaction. David heard about another couple, Margaret and Paul, both 68 from Florida, who'd had their own breakthrough. Margaret had struggled to feel fulfilled at night because she was too exhausted. But Paul suggested they try a morning instead. They'd wake up, share a light breakfast, then spend a quiet hour together, taking their time to connect when they felt fresh. Margaret found that her body responded so much better. She felt more awake, more in tune, and it led to a level of satisfaction she'd never experienced before. Paul told David, "It's like we found a whole new rhythm. It made all the difference." David thought, "We're always so tired at night. Could a different time help Susan feel more present?" So he suggested they try a morning instead. He woke up with her on a quiet Saturday, made them both a cup of tea, and they sat together, talking and laughing, letting the morning light fill their cozy bedroom. When they came together, there was no rush, no exhaustion, just a shared energy that made every moment feel alive. Susan felt her body respond in a way she never had. She was awake, engaged, and for the first time, she reached that peak of satisfaction with a clarity and joy she'd never known. David felt it too, their connection deeper, their love stronger, like they were truly seeing each other again. You can do this too. Try a new time, like a morning or early afternoon, when you're both rested and alert, and take your time to connect without the weight of a long day. It's not about changing everything. It's about finding a moment when you can both be fully present. And for Susan and David, it was like unlocking a door to a whole new level of intimacy, one that made them feel closer than ever. They were so close now to making every moment together fulfilling, to proving that age couldn't steal their passion, and they couldn't wait to see how much deeper their connection could grow. Susan woke up that Sunday morning with a lightness in her heart she hadn't felt in years. She reached for David's hand as they lay in bed, the soft morning light filtering through their curtains, and she smiled, feeling a closeness that had once seemed impossible. Just months ago, she'd sat on the edge of that same bed, her heart heavy with the fear that their intimacy was gone forever, that she'd never feel the deep satisfaction she'd longed for in their 40 years of marriage. Susan had never reached orgasm, not once, and after 60, she'd started to believe it was too late. Her body felt different. Their connection had faded, and she worried that age had stolen their passion. But David's decision to try something new that one night changed everything, and as they lay there together, Susan felt like they'd won. They'd rediscovered each other through 5 intimate techniques, and now their mornings were filled with a warmth and connection that made them feel closer than ever. David looked at her, his eyes soft, and said, "I've never felt so in love with you, Susan. I'm so glad we didn't give up." As they got up to share their morning tea, laughing and planning their day, Susan felt a joy she thought was gone forever. She wasn't just feeling satisfied. She was feeling loved, seen, and truly connected, proving that intimacy after 60 could be more fulfilling than ever. Let's take a moment to look back at what Susan and David learned, because these 5 techniques aren't just for them. They're for you too. First, they took time for extended foreplay, spending 20 minutes on gentle touch and kind words, letting Susan's body relax and respond. Then they opened up with honest communication, asking each other, "What feels good?" and listening with an open heart to build trust. They created a relaxing atmosphere, dimming the lights, lighting a candle, and playing soft music to make their space a cozy haven. They focused on slow, intentional touch, taking 10 minutes to caress each other gently, staying present and unhurried to deepen their connection. And finally, they tried a new time, choosing a quiet morning when they were both rested and alert, giving them the energy to be fully present with each other. These aren't big, complicated changes. They're small, senior-friendly steps that add up to something life-changing. Susan and David aren't a different couple now. They're the same couple, just closer, more connected, and more fulfilled. And you can be too. You don't have to let age steal your passion, your closeness, or your joy. You've got the power to rediscover intimacy, starting today with these 5 simple techniques. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, you deserve to feel loved, to feel satisfied, to feel truly connected with your partner. If Susan and David's journey has inspired you to transform your intimacy, I'd love for you to join me for more. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep exploring these moments together, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to feel that spark at any age, and I'm here to help you every step of the way.